All right. Think we're rolling again. Welcome back to another one of these things. Hope you're doing fantastic. It started snowing here again. The rest of it didn't go away yet, so it's just even more. But it's kind of nice when it's snowing. I guess it's kind of warm right now where I'm at, so it might actually. I'm looking at like nothing. I'm looking at blinds that are closed right now, so I'm not sure what I'm looking over there for. It feels good turning my neck that way. So I've been looking at my computer for a while, um, but it has this. We have this concept of wintry mix here, which is I guess just rain snow. There are other actual words for this type of thing, but we just decided to call it wintry mix, which doesn't really sound that good. I don't think it really is that good either. Because it's like this snow is the kind of snow it's just going to land and it's going to immediately melt, and then it's like cold enough for it to freeze still. So it's just going to be really slick out there for a long time. So got some fun walks with the dog to look forward to, I guess. But hope you're doing fine this lovely or dreary Thursday, as is the case we're here. Yeah. What's going on today? I'm thinking I might actually take a look at a list of things that I have in case I can't really think of anything to talk about. Not that I can't like think of something like to talk about kind of at the drop of a hat. It's not that bad. But I am working on a bit of writing right now for a project, an assignment from a place I'm interviewing with. So let's see, do this and maybe go grab a little dessert and get back to doing some more writing. Old 30-minute shows on YouTube. Let's see if I remember what I wanted to talk about when I wrote that down. Oh yeah, when we were fostering Ember, the puppy, she got adopted, by the way. I don't know if I ever said that. Like after a day and a half of her going back to the adoption center, she got adopted. So, woohoo, successful stuff. While she was here though, Heather and I, well, I was kind of at my computer still while Heather was doing this, but because she wanted to keep an eye on the puppy, make sure she didn't get into trouble, she'd be watching or be like in the living room a lot, rather than just like sitting at her computer, just so she can keep an eye on the puppy. And one of the things that she ended up doing was watching a lot of YouTube videos, but it had to be just something that was like there was a lot of it, and stuff that was just like not terribly engaging. Just so in case the puppy did decide to just start peeing, we can react pretty quickly. And one of those things, that we don't have cable, or we have like cable internet, but it's not. We don't have like cable television in traditional sense. Nothing like package deals or anything. So we were just watching YouTube stuff, and one of those things was, I think it's Me or the Dog, and I don't know what channel it used to be on, but it's clearly made for television. It has so many like commercial breaky points like that are in it, and like taking them out, like it still works pretty well. But one of the things that like struck me is just kind of silly about that whole premise is that it does move okay. It does translate okay to YouTube and watching something online, surprisingly well. But when you take out everything that was in between the actual like show content, these videos end up being between like 5 and 8 minutes long, like maybe like 6 to 7 minutes on average. And it just sort of got us thinking, it's like, it is crazy how many many extra things were going on with shows on television. So naturally, you still had like commercials going on, but you also had like title sequences and like closing or credit sequences and like transitions for going between between the show and a commercial. So you'd come back and you'd get like little sort of blurbs about what was happening before we went to a commercial break. And when you take all of that out, when you take out all of that half hour and you're left with like 6 to 8 minutes, 8 minutes is really, that was like on the long side for these things. That's what you're left with. That most of that half hour was filler and advertising. Granted, I think this show was one that was like, it would do multiple stories, like 2 stories at the same time. By the way, the show is just about training dogs. It's not like it's me or the dog. It doesn't really mean like somebody gets kicked out of their house. Though a couple of them really play up the drama like that could happen as a part of this this show. But it really is just a person training dogs with people who have dogs that don't generally have training or have a really weird quirk or something. But it was just kind of silly. And I know like this isn't the only show that's doing that, because if there's a way to monetize or get eyes in front of your content or get advertiser eyes on things, if there's money to be made, people will put their stuff there. So there must be a ton of this type of content that's on YouTube that just used to be television shows from like 10 years ago. And gosh, I'm like forgetting kind of how old I am too. It's probably even more than that. It's like between 10 and 20 years ago. And it just kind of boggles the mind that you might get like 7 to 8 minutes, 6 to 8 minutes of like decent content. And it's not like the most amazingly well put together stuff. It's funny having been around YouTube for a while and finding creators that really put like time into their stuff, and you get like just potentially like anywhere between like, I guess some things are still like in that low like 3 to 8 minute range, but a lot of stuff these days is in that, outside of like music, is in and TikTok and things that are trying to do like TikTok-ish things on YouTube. But most of that stuff is still like 10 minutes plus. And it can range up to like crazy long stuff if you're looking into like philosophical YouTuber things where they're going on for like half hour to 2 hours about some topics. And it's generally as good a quality as that show was. It's just kind of silly that you get like that really good quality from like one person these days versus a whole crew of people working on something from like, let's say just like 15 years ago on average. It's kind of interesting how production values have kind of changed a bit where we're at today. But there's just a little idea, a little thought that crossed my mind. No real takeaway there other than I think YouTubers these days like seem to just be doing kind of better at production than TV shows from a long time ago, or at least shows like that. I shouldn't say like TV shows from a long time ago, like things that were like around the home type things. That doesn't really like play into like sitcoms or anything like that, which is all. That's probably more a fair like, I don't know, like a fair comparison, because they're really thinking about how the viewer will react to this staged thing rather than this type of show, which is like fake reality TV. But there was just so much of that stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's just like a ton of YouTube channels that are just like that, very very quick, rapid fire, like reality-ish TV type stuff, and it works okay. It's just really short when you take away the rest of that half hours of filler in between the actual thing that you were there to watch. But yeah, just an idle observation this time. No takeaway. Anyway, I think we'll go ahead and call it at that. Still got a little bit of writing to do, a little bit of thoughts to do. I want to get through probably a decent draft of the actual thing I'm writing tonight. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about games tomorrow. I'm feeling like talking about games. I don't know what it'll be about. We'll see. Because I got a few games that I've been playing lately. There's one I've been playing right now that I kind of want to talk a little bit about, but I'm not done with it yet. It's a visual novel, Robotics Notes. If you've watched or read Steins Gate, same universe. So it's kind of neat science fiction stuff. And this time it just deals with some robots and things too. But the story is just like funny, like conspiracy theory type fuel. But like it's believable stuff. But it's interesting. I might talk about that. Probably not tomorrow. I'll probably finish that this weekend. But maybe we'll grab an amiibo off the wall. Talk about something like that. We'll see. Anyway, hope you're having a good, wonderful Thursday. And hope your start to your Friday tomorrow is equally good, if not better. You deserve it. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.